You think you know extreme weather? You don't. Because there are 10 states in America where Mother Nature has basically lost her mind, and what happens there is so wild that people literally risk their lives just living normal day-to-day existence. We are talking about places where the weather doesn't just change, it attacks. Here's what most people don't realize about extreme weather in the United States. We always hear about hurricanes in Florida or tornadoes in Kansas, right? But the truth is way more insane than that. Some states deal with every type of extreme weather you can imagine, all in the same year. That includes hurricanes, tornadoes, blizzards, droughts, wildfires, and floods. Sometimes all within a few months of each other. And the craziest part? Millions of people choose to live there anyway. Let's start with Oklahoma, because honestly, this state is absolutely mental when it comes to weather. Oklahoma sits right in the heart of Tornado Alley, averaging 52 tornadoes every single year. But here is the kicker. It is not just tornadoes. Oklahoma also deals with ice storms that shut down entire cities, summer heat that regularly exceeds 110 degrees Fahrenheit, flash floods that turn dry riverbeds into raging torrents in minutes, and droughts so severe the ground literally cracks open. The weather can flip in hours. You could wake up to a sunny 75-degree morning, have a tornado warning by lunch, and be in a severe thunderstorm by dinner. The state holds the record for the widest tornado ever recorded, 2.6 miles wide. That happened in El Reno in 2013, packing winds over 295 miles per hour. Now, if you think Oklahoma is bad, wait until you hear about Kansas. This state gets hit by an average of 96 tornadoes per year, and because the terrain is so flat, these tornadoes can travel for miles without anything stopping them. Kansas also experiences some of the most extreme temperature swings in the country. The record low is minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit, and the record high is 121 degrees Fahrenheit. That is a 161-degree range, which is absolutely bonkers. And the wind? Kansas is constantly windy because there is literally nothing to block it. During storms, wind speeds routinely reach 60 to 80 miles per hour. Imagine trying to walk to your car in 70 miles per hour winds while hail the size of baseballs pelts down. But here is where things get really crazy. Texas is massive, which means it gets hit with basically everything. The eastern part deals with hurricanes from the Gulf. The northern part is in Tornado Alley. The western part has brutal droughts and wildfires. The panhandle gets blizzards. And flash flooding can turn highways into rivers in under an hour. Hurricane Harvey in 2017 dumped over 60 inches of rain on parts of Texas. That is 5 feet of water. But just a few years earlier, Texas was dealing with one of the worst droughts in its history. The state basically swings between too much water and not enough. And the tornadoes? Texas actually gets more tornadoes than any other state, an average of 155 per year. When you are getting hit by over 150 tornadoes annually, the intensity almost does not matter. Now let's talk about Louisiana, because this state is basically on the front lines of climate chaos. Hurricane Katrina in 2005 devastated New Orleans and killed more than 1,800 people. Hurricane Ida in 2021 hit with winds of 150 miles per hour and left 1 million people without power for weeks. These are not just bad storms, they are catastrophic events that reshape entire regions. But hurricanes are only part of the story. Heat indexes regularly exceed 110 degrees Fahrenheit in the summer. The state also floods constantly because it is mostly below sea level and sinking. Louisiana loses about a football field of land every 100 minutes to coastal erosion. And here is something that will blow your mind. When a hurricane spawns tornadoes, that is a whole new level of nightmare. Flooding, storm surge, hurricane-force winds, and tornadoes can all come at the same time. But guess what? Florida might actually be worse. Florida is the lightning capital of the United States, with Tampa Bay being the absolute worst. During summer thunderstorms, which happen almost daily, you are basically playing Russian roulette every time you step outside. Florida also has sinkholes that can literally swallow houses overnight. The combination of limestone bedrock and heavy rainfall creates these underground voids that just collapse. And the heat and humidity make it feel like you are breathing through a wet towel for 6 months straight. The hurricanes, though? Hurricane Michael in 2018 struck the Panhandle with winds of 160 miles per hour. Hurricane Irma in 2017 affected the entire state at once. The whole state was under hurricane warnings simultaneously. Florida gets hit so often that hurricane season is not an anomaly, it is part of the annual calendar. Now, you might be thinking all the extreme weather is in the South and Midwest. Wrong. Montana is absolutely brutal, just in different ways. In 1916, the temperature in Browning dropped from 44 degrees Fahrenheit to minus 56 degrees Fahrenheit in one day. That was a 100-degree drop. Montana winters are no joke. Blizzards can dump several feet of snow, with wind chills reaching minus 70 degrees Fahrenheit. But then summer hits, and parts of Montana can reach over 110 degrees Fahrenheit. The state also deals with wildfires that consume hundreds of thousands of acres. Because Montana is so sparsely populated, help is not always close by. South Dakota is right there with Montana in terms of temperature extremes. The state experiences some of the coldest winters in the continental U.S., with temperatures regularly dropping below minus 30 degrees Fahrenheit. But it also gets tornadoes, severe thunderstorms, blizzards, ice storms, and flash floods. The Black Hills region is particularly insane because elevation changes create micro-weather systems that can produce localized disasters. And then there is Nebraska, which combines the worst of Tornado Alley with brutal winter weather. The state averages 57 tornadoes per year, but it also gets massive blizzards that can shut down Interstate 80, one of the country's main transportation corridors. The 1975 Omaha tornado killed 3 people and caused over $1 billion in damage. That was almost 50 years ago. Colorado deserves a special mention because the weather there is unpredictable in ways that defy logic. You can have a blizzard in May. You can have 70 degrees Fahrenheit in January. The mountains create these wild weather patterns where Denver can be sunny and 65 degrees Fahrenheit, while Boulder, just 30 miles away, is getting pummeled by 2 feet of snow. The state also deals with wildfires, flash floods, hailstorms that total tens of thousands of cars, and avalanches that can bury entire highways. And finally, we have to talk about Alaska, because while it might not see tornadoes, what it does have is legitimately terrifying. Temperatures can drop to minus 80 degrees Fahrenheit in the interior. The state gets earthquakes that would level buildings in other states. Tsunamis hit coastal communities. Avalanches are a constant threat in winter. And then there is the wind. Some areas experience sustained winds over 100 miles per hour on a regular basis. The Bering Sea coast faces storms that make hurricanes look tame. Waves over 40 feet high, combined with freezing temperatures and hurricane-force winds, create conditions that can sink ships and destroy infrastructure in minutes. And because Alaska is so remote, rescue operations can take days, or might not be possible at all. Here's the thing that connects all 10 of these states. People know the weather is extreme, and they live there anyway. They build storm shelters in their backyards. They track weather patterns obsessively. They have evacuation plans, and they just accept it as part of life. Honestly, I think that is kind of insane, but also incredibly brave. Drop your state in the comments if you think it deserves to be on this list.